This is Marla from Prodigal Finds God, and I'm looking at a copy of the Book of Remembrance of our ancient grandmothers. This is a replica of the stone tablet that the book is actually written on, and God uses a scribe to explain what all of the lines and curves mean. They all have significance. Approximately 400 pages. The 400 pages are transcribed from the front and back, I believe, of this tablet. And the scribe goes into detail in the book about that. But we're going to be looking specifically today at the Book of Remembrance of our Ancient Grandmothers, Chapter 3. An account of the original 10 guidances of Anokeesed, and also Mahal, discovering the pool of heaven, and bringing a profound awareness of Motzah, the Lamb, to the righteous. Now, after viewing these things, I began to wonder what else the Lord was doing to raise up a people after his own heart in the land of Qatar. And it came to pass that I once again took up Urim to look, and as I cast my eyes about to see what I would see, I saw Enoch, the scribe of righteousness, engraving upon a stone tablet great things before the Lord. Now I loved Enoch greatly, and respected him for his holy walk with Motzah the Lamb. And I felt like I knew him, and I beheld him sitting against a large stone, with one knee up, upon which was the stone that he was carving into a tablet. And when I came closer to look, and I beheld the tablet, I was astonished, for it was very much like the tablet that I now had before me to interpret by Urim. And we had always called it the family tablet because of the man and woman on it, and the instructions it contained about the uniqueness and differences between men and women. But upon seeing this, I could now understand why I had been seeing so much detail about the early development of the family of mankind. And I began to look very intently and with real awareness, as I now could learn what I desired to know. And the Lord said to me that Enoch was writing so that Anokeesed could have happiness, and so he could rest in the joys of his people as they lived out their gift of life. And Enoch continually sought out ways to comfort Anokeesed. So we're talking Enoch walked with God. For he walked with him, and as I watched with keen interest, I heard Enoch call it the guidance tablet of Anokeesed. And he said it contained his guidance to his people, intended to lead them to happy living. And when this passed before my eyes, I was much moved upon by the Spirit. For it was made known to me that upon this guidance tablet was the original 10 commandments. And I recalled that the Lord had referred to such tablets as the tablets of Elda. Now, Elda simply means God is here, and it is the name of his abode in the midst of eternity. And ever since I first heard there were such things as tablets of Elda, I was very desirous to discover them. And this tablet came in a day before anyone thought of Anokeesed in ways to conceive of him, as being one who would give commandments. For the ancients thought of him much in the same way as one would think of a little child, and all know a little child would not command anyone, but even those who are holy can be led by a child. They can be guided by them also. And because of that which I had previously viewed with Urim, I knew it was one of the very tablets Motzah gave to Moses on Mount Sinai. And I know that there are copies of this tablet, for I have seen some of them, and the scribes and I were very grateful to the Lord for opening up to us this wonderful opportunity to know the truth of these things, for the wonder of the truth of Anokeesed is marvelous indeed. And it came to pass that I looked upon this scene being filled with desire, and I beheld the tablet with clarity, And I was amazed that it was so much like the one that we had. And the Lord knew the desires of my heart. And he began to speak to me, and he pointed to the tablet as he spoke. And he spoke each one of the 10 guidances to me, one at a time. And as it is so often with Urim, the truth explodes in your heart and mind, and it was difficult not to be distracted into the depth of meaning with each one. Accordingly, I spoke each one to the scribes, and he said them to me, but I could not say all that was before me with each one, because it was too vast. And the Lord said, number 1, you are to love Anokeesed with all your heart, and with all your mind, and with all your power. And then I wondered what he meant by the word power. And he answered and he said, that your power comes from all of your holy relationships with the spirits of life in that which is holy in creation. And the implications of this are staggering in the immensity of the scope of it. But let me say, it means to have the kind of relationship with element that expresses always and only the loving kindness of Anokeesed with your fellows, and that love is unconditional, never varying away from his gracious nature. And many things raced through my mind that the Lord had taught during his walk upon the earth. And again, the Lord pointed and he said, number 2, you are to always walk in the holiness of the sanctity of marriage, and to anticipate it from your childhood. And again, great truths swept through my mind. And he said the word anticipate means for you to be pure in heart and chaste from your childhood, waiting for your rightful spouse and saving yourself solely for them and from all others. And I recalled the marriage counsel which the Lord had brought to Enoch, which says that children should be taught from their childhood to have a deep expectation that they will be romantically attractive and completely loved by the spouse which Anokeesed has created for them as a man and a woman standing together before him. And the Lord said, number 3, you are to follow no other example in religion but the loving kindness of Anokeesed, and that which was established by the righteous with him during the first great sevening. And I immediately knew that this would exclude any use of religion for gain, or to exert control over your fellows, or to use religion to bring assurances to yourself of a future that satisfied your desires for a place of good standing, without the need to walk in repentance and humility and holiness with perfect virtue. And again, the Lord said, number 4, each person is to love their fellow and deem them equal to themselves. And the marvelous wisdom of this simple statement spoke loudly to my soul. And it would start with a person not classifying themselves or stigmatizing themselves as rich or poor, intelligent or ignorant, beautiful or ugly, nor important or unimportant. And if they did not classify themselves, they would not classify others, and could truly see their fellow, no matter who they are, as equal to themselves. And the Lord said, number 5, you are to respect and love your children and protect them from evil, and diligently teach them the ways of holiness. And upon hearing this, it was immediately made known to me that when a parent follows this guidance, children would not have to be told to honor their father and mother. And children who have always known only respect and love can more easily respect and love their gift of life from Anokeesed and grow to be wise during their passages. And they will love their elders and they will be loved as elders in their old age. And the Lord said, number 6, you are to purify yourselves by sevens in all things. And when I heard this, I knew that this was the basis for keeping the Sabbath day, and it was that which Shabuah was founded upon, and the weeks of the holy days, and the years of jubilees, and many such important observances. And I knew that Anokeesed himself used this guidance in the acts of creation by his son Motzah, the Lamb, when the world was created and Olam was transformed into Eden, and again when the natural world of Eden was transformed into our temporal world during the first 7 generations of mankind. And the Lord said again, number 7, you are to respect the Creator, Motzah, the Lamb, who is himself the living water, that issues forth to follow each person that finds breath, and not lay claim to that which he has made for other persons. And my eyes were opened to know that this has far-reaching meaning in our lives, and we should be happily attached to the circumstances of our lives, and we should be content with our possessions, and not desire to have what others may have acquired. And we are not to view our worth in terms of the satisfaction of possessions, nor should we allow ourselves to be controlled by longings for acceptance and high esteem and the ease of pleasures and comforts. And I felt the Spirit say that we should view as our possessions only that which Anokeesed has given to us to be ours. And I could tell how compatible having all things common was to this guidance. And the Lord continued speaking, and he said, number 8, you are to respect all life, and guard with diligence all the lives of those who are the objects of creation. And of course, all human beings, whether they be friend or foe, holy or evil, powerful or weak, are in fact all the objects of creation, simply by being created as the children of Anokeesed. And I know this means all human life, even to include one's enemies, and it prohibits participating in war in any way. And it also prohibits infanticide of the unborn and using death as punishment. And continuing, the Lord said, number 9, you are to seek no other authority than the authority of Elda, which brings a response from the Urkadishoy, who are the holy watchers of heaven. And with clarity I understood that this means we are not to pursue obtaining authority from the world by license or certification or appointment to position, and we are not to approach in any way obtaining authority by effective subtleties over any person or creature. And lastly, the Lord said, number 10, you are to bear up under the burden of oppression without violence. And I know that oppression takes on many forms, all the way from the imposition of impure moral values to being occupied by violent forces of the armies of nations, and that under these circumstances, loving enemies, praying for those who despitefully use you, and not resisting evil but turning the other cheek, and blessing those who curse you, and doing good to them that hate you, are acts that reflect the very heart of Anokeesed. And the Lord said to me, I caused Enoch to write the 10 guidances to preserve the 7 joinings of Masosiel, and the guidances undergird them unabated through the ages. And it came to pass that upon receiving these 10 guidances for happy living, that I began to ponder how this delightful and holy advice from our loving Father, Anokeesed, was altered to become the Ten Commandments. And as I thought upon this new development, the Lord began to open it up to me by the Urim, and by magnifying His Spirit in me. And I began to know and understand the pathway His gentle guidances have taken among the families of the earth. And this matter began to be very instructive to me, albeit sad. And I saw that after Enoch had made the tablet, and he began to teach it, the 10 guidances for happy living were spread abroad among all the people in Nod, who remained with their old parents, and all the people in the regions of Mawin began to use them in all their daily lives. And they certainly all knew that it brought rich happiness for Anokeesed indeed. And starting in about the 8th generation, the guidance tablet began to influence those who learned of it, insomuch that parents began to be able to clearly identify to their children the importance of their decisions in the passages of life, and great care was taken in their important decisions for the sake of Anokeesed. And with younger children, parents could begin at an early age to teach the importance of chastity and of loving and kind behavior towards God and man. And by these things, virtue abounded in their lives as they grew into adulthood, and happiness in the people flourished.